Okay, this is how we trade with the an easier way to trade.com EA. Our EA will take every cross. So while we know that when moving averages cross, that signifies moves, right? Our EA you can set up with any moving average that you want. I like the 13 and the 200 EMAs. These are both EMAs. If you look, 200 exponential, okay? A lot was my tomato, and my black one is my 13 exponential. I like those, but you can set the EA on any moving average that you want. Smooth, linear, weighted, exponential, simple, it does not matter. Any EA, any moving averages that you like. Again, I prefer the 13 and the 200. So how our EA works, bring it over. How our EA works is, let's just say, this is current time right here. This is current. And we set this EA up on as many pairs as you want. You can set it, according to your account balance. Now, you always want to remember not to over leverage. So according to your account balance, you can set it up on as many pairs as you want, and the EA will take every cross. Now, we know that you will not win every trade, but our EA, the objective is to win more pips than you lose. So the good thing about our EA is if it enters you into this trade on the 13-200 cross, right? If it enters you right here on the 13-200 cross, this is current time, so we don't see any of this stuff. Once this price gets here, what is it going to do? It's going to open up on this next candle right here, right? Now, our EA, you can set it up to exit on the when it crosses back. You can set it up to exit whatever pips you want, however many pips you're looking for. You can set it to exit on the swing high or the swing low dot, or you can just manually exit the trade, depending on how many pips. So let's just say we're on the hour time frame, and the EA enters the trade here, and you have it set to exit on the swing. All right, so exit, that's 27 pips right there. Let's say you forget to put a take profit in, or you forget to tell it to exit on the swing and you don't manually exit it. Worst case scenario, when the EA crosses and goes up, it will exit the trade on the next cross. It will enter this trade and then exit on the next cross. Enter this trade, exit on the next cross. So let's look at the worst case scenario. We don't set a take profit, we don't manually exit the trade, and we don't set it to exit on the swing high. We're in this trade. It exits at the next cross, which is right here where the candle closed. You lost 16 pips on that trade. You lost 16 pips, okay? It's going to automatically close this trade. So you lost 16 pips. So there is no need for a stop loss, because as we know with conventional trading, if I were to enter this trade right here, my stop loss should be somewhere around my most recent swing low, my most recent low right here, right? So will I ever hit that stop loss? I don't have any chance at all of losing 79, 80 pips, right? Because the trade is going to exit when it crosses back over. Okay, next, let's get rid of this. So we say we came up, we lost 16 pips. It opens this trade. It immediately opens this trade and goes back across. So we lost another 7, let's just say 10 more pips, because it exits on this one, this candle right here, right? So we lost another 10 pips. So let's say we lost 26 pips total so far. But then it enters this trade. We have minimum loss because it closes on the cross, right? Now we enter this trade. We're entering, it goes up 67 pips. So if you're managing, if you know you just lost a total of 20 some pips right in here, right? And you see this price going up, well, at 20 some pips right here, I'm at break even, right? I can either cancel this trade, get my money back, or let it continue to the swing, right? I'm more than likely on this trade, I'll be managing, because I say I lost 2 trades in a row because it crossed. Price was what? Consolidating. This is considered consolidation because it's moving sideways. So I'm saying, okay, price has been consolidating. So I'll go ahead and either take a partial profit here, because now what do we know that happens out of consolidation? Price tends to move, right? So this consolidated right here, price went up. So I'll close partial position to make sure I get this loss back and leave a position running and exit on the swing, okay? Or if I didn't do that, right? If I didn't do that, I just entered right here and left it, and it exits on the cross, then I've still got around 12 pips, because the next candle closes right here. I'm still 12 pips positive, right? So that 12 will negate some of the 20-something loss back here, and it'll enter again here. It'll enter this trade here, and it will exit, either on the swing low or the trend, right? The trend right here, or the swing, or you can manually exit 24 pips, but then again, it enters this trade. So it's entering every trade. It's entering here, going up 61 pips. The way this EA works is you never miss a trade crossing. You never miss an EA cross. So while it's consolidating again, it hits this one, it goes down, exits on the swing here. If you set the EA to exit on the swing, and it continues down, right? Enters this trade. You may lose this one, but look, here we go. Coming out of these the small mini consolidated moves, you are always going to catch the run. And the problem with conventional trading is a lot of times you're missing the big moves. You're missing the big moves like this right here because it's overnight. Let's say right here, the EA entered the trade right here. Okay, let me mark this so we can know how to find it when I expand it. All right, right here, mark it a little bit more, open up. All right, we missed the EA would enter this trade right here, went down 19, 20 pips. All right. If you didn't tell it to get out right here with the EA, or if you didn't set a 10 pip take profit, then if you didn't set any take profits or tell it to get out, it's going to exit on this arrow here, which is up here. So you actually lost 20 pips. But then again, it enters this trade right here, and again comes straight down and exits. So you lost another 26. So that's 46 pips you lost right there. Price is consolidating, right? 200 moving averages is moving sideways. So that's 26 pips. That's 46 pips you lost. But then it catches this trade, 51. So you got your money back. And guess what? If you didn't set, once I knew I lost 46 pips, again, my strategy is if I lost 46 pips, I'm looking. So I'm going to get this 40 right here, and I'm going to close partial out, or either have a runner going, right? So I'm going to close partial out, and I'll say, okay, let this trade run, because it may just be this move here. I've closed out partial. I've got my break even. Now it's time for me to say, let's see what it does, because what does it do? Where's my next cross? If I have it set to end in the cross, where's my next cross? Let's find it. I gotta minimize this a little bit more to find it. Right? This is where you were. You're in that trade here. You took partial right here at 40 some pips, but you let it run. Where's the next cross? Wow, let's get rid of this. The next cross is way down here. And see, these are the moves that we miss. We miss this move right here. We get it on the cross here. The EA is gonna catch it all the way down to right here. 233 pips. Now that's a long time, because each one of these columns right here is a day. It's a whole day. But the EA, you do nothing for this. You simply set the EA, let it take this, let it take this, let it take this, and 230 some pips. Then what does it do then? Exits you out of that trade and enters you in on this one. You can manually exit 30 some pips or not, come to the cross, and now you've made about 8 pips. Right? Then it ends, this trade goes down, comes back up, but you catch this one. The idea of it, if you go back and back test on any pairs, the object is this going to catch the big runs, right? It's going to catch this run. You in right here. The moving averages never, even though it goes negative, the moving averages never cross, keeps you in, exit at the cross, this candle, which will be 87 pips. You've done nothing for it. Now, this is just one pair. Imagine having the EA on 5 pairs. On 10 pairs, right, a day, and getting 40 to 50 to 80 pips a day, or even a course of a week or two. You're just letting it run. You're not having to sit there and say, where's my stop loss at, take profit. You're not having to sit there and worry about news hitting it, because what happens if news hits this? Let's say we're right here, and news hit. We're going up on the buy, and news hits. We're in this thing on the buy, because it crossed over right here. We're on the buy, news hits, and it drastically either shoots you up. That's good, right? You're gonna let it run. Or if it shoots you down. Well, if I was to enter this trade, where would my stop loss be? If I was to enter this trade conventionally, if I'm entering this trade on this cross right here, my stop loss is going to be where? My most recent low, which is right here. Okay. So if I was to lose this trade conventionally, price came up and it came back down, I'm losing what? Roughly, just say we entered it on this candle here, I'm losing roughly 71 pips. But let's say I'm in this trade with our EA, and news hits and it spikes down. What's it going to do? It's going to go up. It's going to take me out right at the cross. So I'm not losing 70 some pips. I'm only losing 23 pips. But what does it do? It puts me in this trade that's going with the news. It actually puts me in that trade, right? So you can't, I don't run a stop loss with this EA, because I will never hit the stop loss. It'll take me out on the cross before. And I hope the news hits Either way, it's going in my direction or it's going to cross and put me out. Never stay in a losing trade. If you see why stay in a losing trade when you can get out and get in the opposite direction and turn it into a winning trade? That's what our EA does. Never stay in a losing trade. That's our motto. Don't stay in a losing trade. Exit that trade into a positive trade. So that's how our EA works. So now you're caught this one. The EA catches this move to the cross, and it candle close here. So you got roughly about 48 pips there, 40 some pips there. Or you can close it out at the low swing low, which is 133. You can manually close our EA out. We also have, let me show you the EA, an easierwaytotrade.com. Time filter, you can tell it when to trade, when not to trade during specific times. Spread filter, if your spread happens to be higher than whatever you signify it to be, right here, it won't trade. Turn on my trailing stop, how many pips it needs to be. My risk management, self-explanatory. This is where you select what EMAs you want. I like the 13 exponential, leave it on exponential, and the 200 exponential. This is the most important thing. Close on opposite MA cross. I leave this to true. Let me show you why. If I double click and turn it to false, then I'll show you what happens. I leave it to true. Okay, I'm in this trade right here. It's going down. If I leave it on true, it's going to exit that trade on the next cross. If I leave it to false, I'm coming in, it will not exit that trade. It'll keep running. It'll keep running, right? But this trade could have gone up, all the way up, turned around, and hit my stop loss. So I want it to exit on the cross. That is the most important. That's what I mean by if I'm in this trade and news hits and it goes back up against me, I want it to be set to true so it will turn me out, it'll close me out, and then enter me in that direction. If it's set to false, it's going to go up, cross, and leave you in that trade. Now you're going negative. Never stay in a negative trade when you can turn that trade around to a positive. Okay, that's your MA crosses. That's the close on opposite MA crosses. Then we have candles look back if you want to trade with the trend. 20, you can set that to wherever you want. Candle look back time frame, current candle, a minute, 1 hour, so forth. You tell it how far you want to go back. Use the trend filter. Well, all this means is if I'm looking right here and I see, let's say this is current time right here. I look back X number amount of candles. This is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I'm looking back 3 days and I clearly see this is an uptrend. From right here, I clearly see, and even farther, it's an uptrend. So I say, okay, I only want to trade the up arrows. I only want to trade. Now, is that 100%? No, it's not. I only want to trade because the price came back down, came across like this. It wouldn't trade the down. It would only trade the up. Wouldn't trade the down. But now, see, it's going against you. It's a downside. So if I'm right here and I look back X number of candles, I see this is a sell trend. So I only want to do the selling crosses. When price comes back across here, I want to sell. But see, that's as you see now, it's turning around, going back the opposite way. So I don't use that much. Only coming out of consolidation when I expect trend continuations, right? And then I'll use the push alerts and the buy alerts, sell alerts messages right here. So this is how our EA works. And again, you never miss a cross. So let's just say right here, you weren't at the computer, right? When you got this cross coming out of consolidation, got a big move. You weren't at the computer. You missed this. Well, the E8 would have caught that cross for you on every pair that you have it running. Look at that move. You'd have got that cross. You'd have got this cross, right? You'd have got these moves. You'd have got them. So that's how an easierwaytotrade.com EA works.